We are dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust. Search but you stay lost. We are reaching for the stars, but we're making this too hard. And I wonder where you are. Mysterious, that's the part you always show. 'Cause you're too curious. Maybe you should take it slow. Mysterious, that's the part you always show. 'Cause you're too curious. Maybe you should take it slow. We're dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust. You search but you stay lost. We're reaching for the stars, but we're making this too hard. And I wonder where you are. Mysterious, that's the part you always show. 'Cause you're too curious. Maybe you should take it slow. Mysterious, that's the part you always show. 'Cause you're too curious. Maybe you should take it slow. Reaching for stars. I wonder where you are.
I don't know what you want. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side, my love.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome along to the fourth round of the SERL European Racing Series at Singapore. As you can see, already into qualifying with the drivers on their out laps. Pretty dry out there on track. There's 18 drivers running the grid for the inaugural night race in F1, first on the calendar back in 2008. But we ride on Feral Dude, if I can get my words out. One of the first to do their hot lap soft tyres. Not a great compound around here. They are the softest in the Pirelli range. C5, I think, off the top of my head. May be wrong though. So are very prone to overheating, especially on the first, on one lap pace round Singapore. I mean, this track has been renowned in the previous games for overheating tyres, but as we follow Dude round the grandstand section that will not be there in the Grand Prix this year in real life, but has not been brought into the game unfortunately. But rounding the final few corners, this will be the first time drivers. Oh, that actually sets the first time. 38.6 is the provisional time. Has been improved by 4 tenths, 3 tenths I should say. Sorry, by Feral Dude. As that is now the target, with Isaac going up there at a 38.7. Ian out of 40.2 as time's now starting to roll in. We ride on board with the Aston Martin of Jakeson across the line. Sets a new provisional pole time by quite a mile, a second and a bit for the Aston Martin driver. It sets a provisional time of 37.2. That will be the target for all the drivers. Let's see who else we've got coming across the line. On the AlphaTauri's just went across to start a lap by, I think, Velvet Thunder on an out lap. We should now ride on board with the McLaren of Nitro Bite. Let's have a Ferrari off in the runoff there. Not too far, but must have been Chianabino off in the runoff, still there. Don't know what's going on. I would have thought they'd gotten out there already. Meanwhile, back on board with Nitrobite under the grandstand section. Put a marker down to see whether he can beat the time set by Jakeson. While we're watching that, Hako DK, second person to the 37, still a half a second. Oh, there's now Kiebo pops into the 37s as well. 3 drivers within 30 seconds. Still 3 drivers in the 37 marker as Nitrobite 2 tenths or so off that marker, but we got, I think, most of the runs starting to come to an end. T in the Williams starting their run, avoiding that curve nicely. The previous games you could really ride over that turn 1 curve. A little bit of internet connectivity issues there for the Williams, but as we ride, oh, that's quite wide, and it's actually quite difficult to see what lines he's taking with the connection issues. But as we come to the first sector, 27 dead is the first sector time. It says purple on the track map, though I don't know how much we can trust that with the F1 games. As we come round to turn 9 and the run down towards turn 10, probably the most difficult and most precise section of the track, and that is, well, was into a wall for inevitably lagged back onto the circuit as through the hairpin, missed the apex a little bit, but a few marbles on the outside tyre there. We then run down towards turn 14, almost a hairpin, does get that in there alright. Very difficult to tell how good this lap is. We run through 16 and 17 with the small chicane before you then go underneath the grandstands for this section. And then through the final few corners. What time will it be for the Williams? Final corner. Looks like it could be pretty alright. 38.3. This is the very middle of the pack for the as we have a lovely look at the video settings of Yaya Sanogo. But as we head back towards the action soon, hopefully. No, more menus. I do love a good bit of menu. Second timed laps starting to come out. I think quite a few people are doing out laps. There's Velvet Thunder coming for their first timed lap, I think, across the line, quite far off the mark. 42.9 has a good 3 or 4 seconds, maybe or 5 seconds to find to make that competitive. Palmagero. And the AlphaTauri on an outlap by the looks, yeah. As yeah, most people seem to be on their outlaps at the moment because we are that time of the session. So I think first person to start one of their hot laps would be one of the Haas cars. And I assume it'd be Zian, the first one to start the second runs as we ride on board with the Haas car. Gonna put it up into hot lap mode as we come around the final corner. Really important to get a good exit here. Don't invalidate your lap straight away. DRS open for the Haas as we run towards turn 1. Use as much of the entry as possible. Take a nice bit of curve to give you the best entry. Turn 2 and 3. Very difficult on traction here. You've got to be smooth on the power. You've got a quick, sharp right-hander for the first long DRS straight of the lap. Best overtaken, or one of the best overtaken opportunities into turn 7 here. Breaking down. Able to use a lot of this curb as well, or not too much, don't want to bottom out. It's got a bit of traffic ahead of us on one of the McLarens on an outlap. But as we continue to ride on board, McLaren gets nicely out of the way. Now look towards 10 and want to get the best line into 11 and 12 over the Anderson Bridge before you have the tight hairpin of turn 13. Feels like there's no grip here whatsoever. Takes a lot of curb there, might be struggle a bit for traction as we head to the second DRS zone. Then brake about 75 metres to get the car turned in once again. Don't invalidate your time here, very easy to go across that white line. Now on board with this in the AlphaTauri as well. Also on a hot lap. Again over the Anderson Bridge and into the hairpin. DRS open for down again about the 75 metre mark you're looking for. Get the car turned in for turn 14 and 15 for out. We have 16 and 17. 18, 19 under the grandstand. And you have another little chicane to put you back on the road you were before. Ooh, big kick of oversteer there for the AlphaTauri. That had lost them quite a bit. Zian's time did get him into 38.8. Where will this be able to put themselves? Still in the 138s. That seems to be the order at the moment. Datu though, I think they on their run got them up into, or joins the 37 club, up into P3. Still no one able to match Jakeson at the moment. Could this driver, Hakodako, or Hako DK even, my apologies, as we were running board, Mako Lako in the McLaren, has shown some decent pace so far. Can he get a decent improvement anywhere around the final corner? That is a second improvement, very well done, just behind Jakeson, as Hako DK did look like to have a bit of a spin there. As his teammate Kierbo up ever so slightly as we come around the final sector, where will the Red Bull be able to put themselves around the final corner. DRS open does improve, but not a position. 2/10 improvement, not quite able to keep up with Jakeson and Makalaka. We did briefly see an Alpine of, must be no, trying to figure out which two cars we haven't got. One of the Alpines was off, don't quite know who it was. On board with Nitrobite, can he emulate his teammate Mako Lako for a 47 round the final corner? Does so. It's 37.5 for the McLaren. still 3/10 or so off his teammate, as I think we're now ending the second run part of the session, and I think most people will be coming back into the pits. Jakeson, I don't think, improved on his time on the second runs, or maybe saving a set of softs. I didn't quite notice if he did go out for another run. Got them kind of, or Mercedes I should say, of Mini missing the apex a bit there, not hooking up the chicane too well around the final corner for the Mercedes. What will it be? 39 dead, 5/10 improvement, but not enough to move up a position. Well, I think that's everyone done with their penultimate runs. We got Feral Dude on an outlap. I think, as was first in the session to do a lap, will be the first to do their final run as well. And the kick-sponsored Alfa Romeo. It is quite early to go for a lap, because you do want the track to be at its best. But the benefit of doing it early is that you shouldn't get much traffic, although I think maybe by the time it gets around to the start-finish straight, maybe everyone will be flooding out the pits, because it is quite a long lap here. Singapore, longest race of the season, because it's well, like every Grand Prix, I think it's scaled from about 315 kilometers or something like that. I can't quite remember off the top of my head, but it is so slow here, so that you, in real life, you typically get to the 2-hour time limit, but hopefully you'll be nowhere near that in this race here. Feral Dude for one last run this session. Rounds the final set of corners, and will open DRS for one last run to break down towards turn 1. A lovely whip through the halo there, and then towards turn 3, a little bit wide from the apex. Does, I was going to say, get a decent traction, a little bit of a slide there. That won't help the tyres later on the lap when you want to keep them in the window. Second DRS straight, running down to turn 7. Take a little nibble of curb, probably could have used a bit more curb and exit, but keeps it within the track limits. Again, I get through the Mickey Mouse section. Third through turn 9, head down towards turn 11 once again. Not using any of that curb like you could in the previous games. That will bottom you out if you use a bit too much. Again, does get it nicely through turn 13. DRS open for the second time. Will have a little bit of traffic in the final sector. Hopefully they'll duck out of our way. Well, this is the point in the lap now. You've had so many low speed traction zones that your tyres will be screaming, does the Ferrari get out of the way? No, that is very much an impeding there from the Ferrari. I don't quite know who that was. Oh, what's happened to Kinobino? That is not the way you drive a car. And they are disqualified from the session, unsurprisingly. Jakeson, our current P1 driver. Sorry, Mercedes in the run off there. Either Isaac or Mini, one of the two, but we continue to ride on board with Jakeson. Will he improve his marker? He's already set the fastest lap of the session. Only one driver coming anywhere near striking distance with that, and that was Makalaka, who's also on an outlap. Just under a 10th up through the first sector. See him really abusing the track limits, not much more than we saw from Feral Dude. That's why Jakeson is so much further out compared to everyone, and that is such a lot of speed carried through turn 9 there. You can just see how much more confidence the Aston is able to carry the speed through, gets the lines perfect. As we head through to turn 13 hairpin, does get it turned in nicely. A little bit of a later apex gives you the best traction possible onto this DRS straight as we head now down towards turn 14 once again. And every time I ride on, look at to see how this Aston Martin takes the corners, I can just see why Jakeson's so far out in front. I didn't quite see what the second sector time was there, so we'll be in for a surprise when we get to start finish line. Session is now finished. If you're not on a hot lap, you will not be improving your time. I think a lot of drivers will be wanting to improve their times. The Red Bulls who are up there at the start of the session now starting to fall down the order. Will Jakeson be able to improve his marker across the line? Does so into the 36s. Another 8/10 taken out of his already big advantage. Mako Lako was the only other driver who could challenge Jakeson at the end of the session. Only a 2/10 up at the end of sector 2. Be surprised if he's able to find any more time in this third and final sector. 8/10, that could be quite a lot. Oh, 6/10, sorry, my apologies. But round the final section of the lap, will Makalako be able to challenge Jakeson round the final corner? It's going to be a 37.0, not quite in the 36s, as Kyobo will not be improving their time as we saw the Red Bull off into the runoff. Nitrobite second McLaren as Hako DK now takes the provisional pole with another 36.6. Nitrobite not able to improve. Kyobo will not be improving. Dato has invalidated, and I think as Velvet comes into the pits at the last gasp, it was Hako DK who takes the pole position by 8 milliseconds over Jakeson, who looked so dominant throughout that session. Hako DK managed to pull out one lap at the end to take that pole position. But that will be the grid order for the race. The race very different to qualifying, very difficult to manage the tyres here. So it's going to be a case of who can keep the temps under control, who locks out with a safety car. Very difficult to overtake here. So that will be the challenge for the drivers heading into the Grand Prix.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. Did you enjoy that session?
Yeah, I enjoyed that session. I'm just trying to see what volume should I use. Maybe a bit less. Yeah, 10.
Midstream audio adjustments.
Yeah, there we go. So I have joined as well now.
Well, that's your results for qualifying. Hako DK, fastest of them all, only driver could challenge Jakeson in the end. The two McLarens having a very good qualifying in the top 4. It's almost a whole second improvement for Hako DK after the first round.
You could see second sector was the deciding point. Hako was just faster. And
second sector, pretty much where most of the corners are, so if you can do a good run in second sector on for a good lap. But we move into the race session, and it's going to be an interesting one on strategies. I wonder what tyres everyone's going to start on.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be a choice between mediums and hards. I don't really see anyone using softs at all in this race. But we've seen Aston Martins of Ghost and Jake Sin using that medium soft strategy quite a lot this season. So I'm interesting to see if they'll try to do it again today, but I just don't see a way that it could work on this track.
Yeah, I think in practice of this race did have some drivers complaining about the tyre temperatures. I think most tracks in, well, from my experience in previous F1 games, most tracks you didn't have to worry about tyre temperature at all. Singapore, pretty much one of the few tracks because it's so hot. Only a few miles north of the equator here, so it's very hot even at night. And especially with the addition of the brake temperature in this game, it makes it even harder to manage the tyres. But I think that is a lot of hard tyres I see on the cars off the grid.
I will check. Hold on. Detailed tire. Yeah, that
is a lot of hard tyres. 3 drivers opting for the medium of Feral Dude, Isaac and Zian. Opting for a different strategy. No one on the softs whatsoever, and that does not surprise me.
Not surprising at all. As we are missing 2 drivers tonight, so that's help me.
I
It's
think
a
it was a
Williams
Williams and what's
and
this best? And a Haas. Williams and a Haas, I think. Oh no, not a Haas. Uh, can't see it. Williams and Alpine, I think.
oh yeah, Alpine. Well,
Oh no, no, not Alpine. I
not
spy with the cars. Don't know. I've forgotten
it's
my
an Alpha.
F1
It's an Alfa
Alfa
Romeo.
Romeo. That's
Yeah.
the one. Good job.
Okay, well, so it's a bit of an improvement from last week when we had 17, right?
Yeah, I mean, still pretty full grid. Should still be seeing some, well, hopefully some good battles throughout the grid.
So what do you expect as your top 3 tonight?
Well, Hako and Jakeson, they just both seem to be in a bit of a league of their own of qualifying. I think those two will be having a pretty good fight. Whether the McLarens will be able to stay there, who knows? Kierbo didn't get his last run in, so the second Red Bull could bring themselves back into the top 3. So I'm gonna be honest, I don't know. You tend to have a lot of safety cars here. Will we get them today? Don't know. And it's just gonna be, this race is mostly strategy and mostly how you can look after your tyres. We ride on board with Makalako, who in practice was struggling with the tyre temperatures. As actually Isaac and Zian both getting DSQ. Ooh, that was close. Wasn't paying.
I think Mako was overtaken by Kierbo on the formation lap.
Yeah, well, they're all going to form up on the grid. You have to get your grid position right, otherwise you're going to be reset and lose your tyre temperatures. As into third place spot pulls the McLaren. Some drivers not getting it quite right. But soon everyone should be lined up. Just a few cars in the back there. Lots of DSQs off the start. Jakeson getting a DSQ as well. That could be bad for his race start. But as the red lights come on, and we are underway for the Singapore Grand Prix, Hako DK gets a decent start. Lake not getting a very good start. It's 3 wide in towards turn 1 behind as there's a little bit of contact. Ghost backing out there as I think that's Ghost spun round as well as we continue to go through turn 1. Drama in the mid pack as there's cars everywhere as we head towards turn 2. Ghost does finally get going here, but it is Hako DK who leads from Jakeson. Kierbo already getting up into P3 as 2 Alpha Tauris fighting in the back as well. Miss and GP Magano. As everyone now starts to form up in single file. Yeah, a little bit kick out from one of the Mercedes cars there, side by side with the Alpine. That is Mini and Datu. Mini just able to stay ahead there as we see the strategy. 1 stops, hards to mediums. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the only one we saw.
Oh, there's
Oh, and that's a big crash here. Mercedes with the front wing.
Isaac has no wing left. There was Nitrobite was one of the people involved there. Him and Isaac tried to go side by side into that corner. It just never worked.
Yeah, Nitrobite from P4 now at the back of the grid. Oh, another. That's Isaac without the front wing. Yeah.
There was someone spun there.
Oh, someone spun around. Velvet Thunder, the Haas as well, drops to the back of the grid. There's everyone, lots of incidents here. They did have another brief yellow in sector 3.
Kettles is. Isaac is into the wall.
That's the other mistake. Isaac into the wall.
Yeah, this is going to be a safety car, I think. He's DNF'd on the track. Zian is also on the track there.
Everyone going off at the start. Safety car not deployed. We continue racing. Hako DK continues to lead from Jakeson and Kierbo, all of them within DRS, and you've got a bit of a gap as now Kierbo off as well. Everyone's struggling to start this race.
I'd like to invite Kettles back. I don't know if I have him as my friend.
That would be unfortunate.
Check. Yeah, it's not happening.
Unfortunate. As we get racing.
Hold on. Yeah. Okay, let's check while the Thunder is into the pits. Narshawet as well.
Same
They both have
with
wing
Match
damage.
Fight. Both getting a fully repaired car, but I think Makalaka's put in a pretty decent first sector to get back within the 1 second window of the top three, and now pull out the second window of the AlphaTauri behind. So Isaac has left the session, unfortunate for him. But at the end of this lap, we'll see DRS enabled. I think we could see a little bit of a train for the top three, certainly, maybe the top four, if Makalako is able to keep up.
SERL dude might need to go on in attack mode. His tires have an advantage right now, but I'm not sure how much that advantage will last, so he will have to use them wisely this opening few laps.
Yeah, he's going to be on the hard tyre towards the end of the race, which could be an advantage for temperature-wise. But of course, everyone will be on a lower fuel load at the end of the race, so temperatures won't be so much of a worry as they are at this point in the race. DRS enabled as we head on to lap 3. Makalako did indeed stay within that 1 second window, as has pretty much everyone, P1 down to P7. So,
huge for him to get DRS here to defend. But Feraldo will still try to go on to attack here, try to overtake down the inside, but he pulls out of there. There was not enough space.
Not quite enough space, trying to find a gap, make those medium tyres work. A little bit too much work there out of turn 8. Very difficult place to overtake. Could have made it if the AlphaTauri didn't have the DRS.
Oh, but yeah, maybe this is a chance for Feraldo to attack now.
Yeah, once again, he's used a lot of his battery though on that first straight. Maybe a little bit impatient.
Not going to be enough.
Nah, not quite. Once again, DRS train continues, and I think for at least the first stint in this race, we could be seeing a bit of a DRS train for the top 7. Yeah, it could be quite beneficial for your time.
Oh, Mako is gone.
Makalako into the wall.
That's super unfortunate for Mako.
After such a good start, heads off into the wall. I don't think he'll be very happy with himself with that one.
Oh, I think right in neutral.
Stuck in neutral.
Oh, reset the track.
Has Feraldo got a penalty?
Yeah, maybe.
And is now going into the pits. I think he's lost his front wing as GP Morgado.
He has his front wing intact, so.
Yeah, but he's lost a lot of time. Datu right on the back there.
Mist has overtaken them both, meanwhile. So he went from like P8 to P4 within a few corners.
Yeah, what was looking like a DRS train down from 1st to 7th has ended up with Jakeson having a 1 second gap. And now Datu going for the move on the AlphaTauri driver and easily up into that P5 position. Big gaps after pretty much just one sector in Singapore.
Jakeson has pulled out of Hako's DRS here, which is pretty huge for him. But Hako has has more battery, so he still has a chance to come back in. It will be pretty tough. We saw Jakeson was already pretty good in qualifying. He seems to have a lot of pace this weekend.
Yep. The gap only down to 1.2 now. I wonder if Hako will be trying to push up. One advantage the two Red Bulls do have is that they're both together on track and can use the two-pronged attack on the Aston Martin. Ghost is quite far down the order, not there to back up his teammate. So, two Raging Bulls versus one Aston Martin could make the difference of a victory for Jakeson, but still gap stays at 1.2. I think it came down a little bit, 1.3, 1.4 at the start of the lap, but still not quite able to close up too much for Hako.
They seem to be pretty even on pace. So,
yeah.
I think Hako is just hanging in there for now, not trying to use his DRS. He has more, and Jake obviously has a much bigger DRS burn because he's leading the race. so Haku is trying to use as little as possible, and probably will use eventually if he realizes he's not close enough to close in.
Yep, absolutely. These two are only separated by 8 1,000ths of a second in qualifying, so can barely be more matched on pace than that. Kierbo getting some very nice DRS off his teammate. Should hopefully help him with the ERS. Still using a lot of ERS to keep up though. Looking further down the grid, two of the Skittles quite close on the back of T as well as Georgia on...
Oh, but they are both disconnected.
Oh yeah, both disconnected, so...
I mean, this just shows there are some way, somehow, there are 6 people behind them. No, actually 5.
Of the
so
lap.
yeah, it just shows that we had a lot of incidents in this first few laps. I mean, the gaps here are huge.
23 seconds. I think everyone P15 down will be hoping for a safety car at some point.
Well, I would argue it's probably like P7 down.
Yeah. Well, Kierbo was able to manage to cut. Oh, that's the Ferrari into the wall. There's Macalaco breezes by.
Yeah, Mako's gonna make easy work of it.
Yeah, there's a Velvet Thunder struggling with a bit of understeer. I think that happened there.
Ooh.
Nitro Bite.
Look at
Yep. Just saw that. 2 Red Bulls switch position.
I'm assuming this is a strategic decision. Maybe Kierbo is now the one who's on the hunt.
I did notice before they did switch around and we were looking a bit further down the grid that Paco lost a lot of time on that last lap. Nitro Bite and Feral Dude making their way past the lapped traffic. Nitro Bite on the soft to medium tyre, I think current fastest lap holder of the race as well. Did notice that earlier on. Yep, indeed. Versus 2 lap fresher hard tyres. I think it's not really a matter of who's got the softest tyres, who's got the lowest temps to make it work. And our first penalty of the race goes to Velvet Thunder. 3 seconds for multiple warnings.
Meanwhile, Jake Sin is just extending his lead. Like, they cannot close in this DRS at all. He seems pretty dominant so far.
Up to 2 seconds, Zane also picked up a penalty. 2 seconds is the lead. Red Bull switched position. That doesn't really seem to have made any difference whatsoever to the front runners. Or to Jakeson, I should say.
Also, I have to say, to point out that Kierbo has his fuel lamp turned on, which means that he's pretty low on fuel, which means that he probably under-fueled at the start expecting a safety car. So he's probably gonna have a lot of issues if there's not a single safety car in this race.
Yeah, that is a very fair point. I do know, or my only other experience is the off-street circuits is Monaco. I know even if you put safety car quite high on Monaco, it's very difficult to cause one. I don't know if it's the same here. You might be a bit more educated on how common safety car occurrences are in Singapore.
It's definitely more common than Monaco. But we've not really had a single big incident so far. We've had people spinning on their own, like crashing off, well, not really crashing off, knocking their wings off. We had an incident with Nitrobite and Isaac. The only DNF so far is Isaac, but it was a pretty slow speed crash, which only happened because he had no wing.
Yeah, absolutely go into that grandstand section. Meanwhile, we got the Ferrari and AlphaTauri having a little bit of a fight. Georgios has used a lot of his ERS to try and fight. Ooh, and a lot of that rear end as well to try and fight with G-Power Morgano. As I'm definitely pronouncing his name wrong there, and I do apologise, but I'd rather split out something than.
I think it's G Palmiciano. You're quite close, yeah.
Not too bad, as that is Velvet Thunder coming out of the pits, I think, on a set of fresh soft tyres.
He's
Very
already
surprised to
come
see
down.
that in the race. Yep.
About Mako here. He is also pretty dangerously close to being left here. One mistake. Oh yeah, I was
as
about
there.
to say one mistake. Like if he goes into the wall again and loses his wing, he may get lapped here on lap 8 of the race.
Would be unfortunate. He's got a 25-second gap to the car ahead, just hoping for a safety car for him. I wanna. We've got two battles here. We've got battle for P11 and the battle for P7, as well as a battle brewing for P4 as well. Datu's managed to close on myths now. There's a lot of struggling of the rears I'm starting to notice, especially well with a corner that's almost exclusively low speed. You do work those rear tyres quite a lot.
And also that exit on the DRS zone after the bridge is also quite tricky, because if you put too much of your tires on across the white line, you pick up marbles, which can hurt you towards the end of the lap.
Yeah, new feature on this game of the marbles. Do lose grip when you go on it.
Missed one.
Wow,
Wow.
miss there. Yeah, lost a good few tenths there. That could bring Datu into play for this DRS zone, as he's closed up quite considerable amount. That was like a good 7/10 or so. Probably got dirt on the tyres of the AlphaTauri. Could this be an opportunity into turn 7? We'll have the DRS open, not choosing to use overtake though, so maybe just suffice to sit behind for now.
I have to point out, by the way, Datu got poxed out. Oh, well, he got a penalty now. But I was gonna say that he had quite a good comeback, because he got boxed out on lap 1 and fell down quite a bit. He's back up to P5 now.
Yeah, good. Well, that's probably the errors of others ahead. Oh, that was close to being in the wall for the AlphaTauri again. Everyone's struggling with the rear tyres. That will not be helping their temperatures, or maybe it's a symptom of the temperatures of why the tyres are so losing their grip at the rear. Two Red Bulls not able to keep up with Jakeson. He's just rocketed off into the lead. As seems to be the only one under control of the car and the temperatures. Which, if you do that in Singapore, that nets you a lot of performance from the tyre, not slipping everywhere, sliding everywhere, and you just keep those tyres nice and cool. Oh, we have a yellow flag. One of the Ferraris.
Ferrari is El George.
El Georgia was
Does he have his
fighting. Was fighting GP Lugano, but has now fallen down. Only lost one position though? Yeah, one position to Ghost, so could be worse.
It's good, yeah. Let's see what the rest of the grid is doing. Piano and Velvet Thunder both last.
Velvet Thunder.
Ooh, that wasn't really comfortable. Makalako hitting the barrier there.
That is again a very wide line. You can really start to tell who's struggling with the rears more than others. You see just Makalako again. If we look here, very gingerly on the throttle, and I think that is not surprising. I think his rear temperatures might be going through the roof a little bit. I want to have a look at Datu again, very close to the back of the AlphaTauri. DRS open.
Also, I have to point out that both Myth and Datu are starting to close into the Red Bulls. Oh, what was that line?
I think avoiding a warning there, possibly. He did go quite wide and lift off a little bit.
Yeah, he didn't get a warning there.
3 warnings.
3 warnings in a lap. Wow. How did you manage that?
Might be a little bit of a bug there. I'm just going to throw that out.
Yeah, could be. We'll see after the race.
But yeah, as you did mention, these two closing in on the Red Bulls. I think maybe the reason we're seeing a lack of Red Bull pace could be them also having issues with the tyres. I mean, Hako has been following in the dirty air of his teammate for quite a while, so I think as well as tyre temperatures and engine temperatures, brake temperatures will not be liking that. Georgia picks up a penalty, and
Oh, now's the time.
now's the chance. Overtake enabled for the Alpine. Just open. It's gonna have to be a little bit of a lunge, I think. Gonna go down the outside. No, not quite able to get it done there. A little bit of a tap between the two. I'll have to wait for another time though. Oh, and again, a little bit of rear locking into turn 8.
No, very nice. So he's staying close to the rear end of the Alpha Tauri. He is going to have another chance in the second DRS zone. He needs a good exit though. We have a double penalty there for Nitro, but it was the oh, there's another penalty for Keanu Biano as well. Someone else got it. I think it was Ghost.
I didn't quite see who the first person was, but yeah, a lot of people start to pick up penalties now. Oh, and that is a big rear locking and a big slide there. Rear tyres will not be liking that on the Alpine.
Yeah, this is just another temperature issue, as you've stated a couple of times already.
Yeah, I mean, that is the name of the game. I probably said it a lot, and people are probably annoyed at me mentioning it not a lot, but I think that is what's deciding the race at the moment. Unless we get a safety car at some point, that'll probably help everyone bring temperatures back under control. Hako DK dropped outside of the 1 second window, so I think it is pretty obvious to see that Kieber is a lot more comfortable with the car of the two Red Bull drivers.
Oh, there's a yellow flag.
Yellow sector 1, that's Hako, as we were just on board talking about how much he was struggling compared to his teammate, and that pretty much well, shows you what we're talking about. Lost it out of turn 3. Well, that corner already is one that's difficult with traction, and Hako DK just showed us how it was there.
You could have seen, he was already a few laps before his spin, he was already struggling with his pace. He was not able to keep up in his teammate's DRS, so this is just the final nail in the coffin. His tires just gave up.
Yep, as he's going to be under pressure from the junior team, as Gico Magano in the Alpha Tauri will be within the DRS, as
That's
taking a very tight line to the hairpin there.
the optimal line, definitely.
Not ideal. As the Nitro Bike having a bit of a side-by-side tussle. Oh,
That was
contact there.
not very
McLaren was
clean.
on the inside, managed to get through.
Oh, there's a
to the
DNF.
As that's
Velvet
Velvet
Thunder.
Thunder.
Is
Will we
there
have
a
a
safety
safety car?
No,
I don't
doesn't
think
seem
so.
to be.
No safety cars so far.
He wasn't in the pit,
Interesting.
but no safety car. Huh.
Very interesting. As that is T going to pits with their AI, so that doesn't really matter.
L Georgia went to the pit.
Yeah, I want to go back up to Datu again. He's picked up another penalty, but he was and that was a very good time to join. That was he almost doing a perfect emulation of what Hako did. Lost the rear. I think he kept his car in one piece. Dropped out that DRS window now. So we'll probably struggling to get back in it. Because Mix did have some very good pace whilst in the DRS.
He's also picked up a penalty then.
Yeah, a lot of people picking up penalties already. Yeah, as speaking of penalties, Mini has picked up a penalty. So the first one of the races, we've got another yellow flag. Zian's retired from the session. Safety car deployed. There we go. On the third attempt, we got a safety car. That is the Haas struck in the middle of the road, and I want to see what will Jakeson do, leading the pack by quite a margin. Bit early to go onto the medium tyres, I think. Will he revert to a two-stop strategy? I think that's going to be the question as we right aboard. Safety car waiting on the exit of turn 3. It's going to be interesting to see, will he pit or will he not?
I don't think he will. Never mind, he
Oh.
does.
Into the pits comes the Aston Martin driver. Now, who's going to stay on the 1-stop? Who's going to revert to a 2-stop? I think that is the question as they come to the pit lane.
Coming in, Duff will come in.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone's going onto a 2-stop strategy, I think. You'll
As
struggle
expected.
to get mediums to the end from here, so surely, unless some of them might have a second set with a hard tyre, who knows if they chose the harder allocation. But I think that is Jakeson on the medium, Gerber on the medium, Miss on the medium, Data on the medium. Everyone's going onto the medium tyres at the moment.
Yeah, let's see what Haraldo does. He goes into the pits as well. L. George has pitted 2 laps ago, but
Yeah,
he's
so-
not gonna gain any. Well, he might gain like a few positions, maybe on Haraldo, maybe Miney Mac. Nitrobite dives in as well.
Yeah. And those we were talking about earlier on in the race, who did not have the best start of the race, have been given a little bit of a lifeline. As is that Georgia staying? Oh yeah, of course, because he pit as you just mentioned. So who's on what tyres? Nitrobite going onto the hard. Makalako also pit not that long ago onto the hard tyre.
1 warning for Jakeson, 1 warning for Kerbo as well, although it's on the first lap, so it might also be a collision warning. Mitz got a penalty, we saw that, and got another warning to back it up as well. Hakodike, ooh, he's on thin ice here. He's not doing
2 warnings on the first lap. Might only be for collision warnings in the first lap as well, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, so Farrell dude and Kierba seem to be the only ones here with no warnings, as they both got their only warnings on lap 1, which is most likely a collision warning.
I think we could be in for a little bit of a long safety car here. Look at the track map. Everyone is quite spread out. Has a good 2, 3, maybe even 4 laps this safety car could be. As the Aston Martin leads the field.
He's in between G Parmigiano and Ghost here, Keanu Piano. So if he doesn't get out of the way on the restart, it could be painful for Coast, but Keanu Piano does go into the pits. Maybe to retire the car as well. I mean, he's already a lap down. No, he's not retiring yet. He still has fate.
Yeah, maybe got a bit of front wing damage there.
Yeah.
Changing of the wing. I don't know, but does the F1 game now have unlapping under safety car, or is that still not a thing?
I'm pretty sure they don't.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
At least I'm not aware of it.
Unfortunate for Kinabino. We'll have to remain a lap down after this safety car. Nitrobite pushing hard on the hards to catch up to Q.
It's gonna be there in this lap, but the question is Mako going to be catching up in this lap? He's quite far behind.
That's the question, but the safety car does go a lot slower around here than a Formula 1 car, so maybe just by the end of this lap, we'll have to see. But yes, as everyone onto the medium tyres. I don't know how much the medium tyres will differ to the hard in terms of their wear and their heat, their heat or overheating. That's the word. How much they overheat. I think that's going to be interesting to see, because we saw Jakeson, who looked like he had no overheating whatsoever on the hard tyre. Will that start to come into effect on the medium? We'll have to see.
Yeah, exactly. Overheating is the main factor here, and will be the main factor. I mean, maybe someone can nurse these mediums until the end from now on. I'm not sure what the tire wear is around here. I know it's quite high, but I don't think, like looking on the face of it, I don't think like 17 laps on mediums will be enough for them to not die, but maybe someone can go risky and try to do it.
Yeah, it's very difficult to do it.
But this I wanted to say this is good for Makola. He's going to be able to pit for fresh hards now. Oh, no, he actually doesn't have any fresh hards. What am I waffling? Is he gonna pit? Oh, interesting. I would have pitted for mediums there.
Well, he did pit for mediums earlier on in the race, I think, but obviously maybe struggling with overheating a bit, decided to go back onto another set of hard tyres.
He started on he started on hards and then he pitted on mediums.
Yeah, and now back onto a set of hards.
Ooh, but he should have another soft medium, right? Not soft. He should have another fresh medium, I think.
Yeah, but maybe he wasn't, because obviously he did do a short stint on the mediums, maybe struggling keeping that temperature under control, possibly getting to a bit of the blistering region that they now have in the game. So maybe decided to just bank everything on the hard compound tyre.
Yeah, just send it and inshallah.
Yeah.
Right.
Lap 16 of the Singapore Grand Prix. We're past the halfway point, so it's going to be basically a stint and a bit left. I'd have thought for all the drivers. This is also good for those who are struggling with fuel. I think we saw one of the Red Bulls was struggling on fuel earlier in the race, hoping for a safety car. This has been a bit of a lifeline for them, I think.
Yep, Carbo no longer has his fuel lamp blinking, so that's going to be a relief for him.
Good. As we cross the sector 3 line, I think this will be the point where we see safety car in. At the end of this lap, we will be going racing once again in Singapore, as Jake's in. One Aston Martin lends to another Aston Martin at the front of the field, will become the de facto safety car on the restart.
Everyone is filing up for this restart.
Yeah. Go back up to the front. Jason will have the opportunity to choose when everyone goes. It's a very, very long sector 3, very long. So it's a very long opportunity, a long wait to get going once again. No overtaking before the start-finish line. That comes up quite quickly after turn 23. Still tries to weave his tyres. Going now, we're going once again. Singapore Grand Prix back underway. Jason continues to lead from Kierbo. Then it's Miss and Datu. Hako, who had an incident early on, looking to go for a move on Datu, not quite close enough. That was Ghost going for one on the AlphaTauri. Not quite able to do it on the exit though, maybe getting better traction, better acceleration as well with the overtake going round the outside. Does manage to get it done up into P6 for the Aston Martin. Back up to the front though. I think Kierbo was very close to making a move on Jackson, trying to go to the outside. No room there. Finally, will Jackson have a bit of competition on this safety car restart? He's really hounding the back of that Aston Martin. But it's going to be, as with losing Hako from the top 2, it's going to be 1v1 at the top of the grid, with Mini losing out to Feral Dude, who's got themselves up into P9. As everyone makes it through cleanly on that safety car restart.
Ooh, look at this. Hako down the inside.
Is he going to get better traction? No, has lost the rear a little bit. Overtake enabled once again. Will it be a send down the inside, round the outside, right the outside for the Red Bull? No, not quite. Yellow flag in sector 2. Virtual safety car deployed. Who was that? I saw. What a shame for the Ferrari.
No
One
wing.
lap down already. Loses the front wing, but we have a virtual safety car. Back once again. As,
It's only a virtual this time.
everyone gets a little bit of a breather after a little bit of a tense safety car restart. Wonder how long this VSC will be.
It's a shame for Hako because he was lining up a switchback on Datu, and he got interrupted by the appearance of the virtual safety car.
Yeah, poor timing for the Red Bull. Sure, you'll be wanting, or everyone will be wanting to try and get a good restart once we get going after the virtual safety car again. Waiting for that VSC ending message. Kievo right on the back.
Datu with a drive-through
penalty. For
And
Datu.
a horrible
That is
restart as well.
Horrible.
And it's going
and
into
into
the
the wall
wall
as well. I just
What
thought there'd be
a
another
sequence
safety car.
here of events that led to this tragic death of Datu.
After such a good race, he ends up in the wall. Virtual safety car again deployed. What a shame. After hunting for that podium, just has some unfortunate contact sent into the wall. That is race over.
Yeah, from 0 to 0 within a few seconds, really.
Is unfortunate. But once again have a virtual safety car. And once again Kievo is trying to hound the back of Jakeson. Are we going to get going now down the inside of the virtual safety car restart? Is there any room? No, not quite. Tried to give it his best opportunities he's had this race. Wasn't quite able to get it done. But that Red Bull looks a lot better on the medium tyres than it did on the hards.
Yeah, that was a great restart for Kierbo. He really caught Jakeson out there, but it was just not enough.
Yeah, not enough, and now he's getting a lot of oversteer as well. Hako not getting the same restart he did before, under pressure from the other Aston Martin. So
Yeah,
once one Red Bull attacking Aston Martin, it's going to be one Aston Martin attacking a Red Bull. As yes, you said, DRS is enabled, and could that give an opportunity to Kierbo half a second behind as they head towards the DRS zone? Could this be the opportunity that Kierbo's been looking for this entire race so far? DRS enabled, overtake enabled as well, but I think Jakeson is also using his overtake, not quite able to get the move done.
Hako Decay is really struggling. He's dropping further and further down the field, as we had an overtake there between Mining Mac and G Parmigiano.
Yeah, Mercedes getting themselves up a place. Two McLarens haven't been able to capitalise on the pace they had in qualifying.
Yeah, terrible race for McLaren.
Yeah, pretty much going back to what it was like in real life for them in the first half this year. Decent qualifying, then kind of fall back down to the lower ends of the grid. Lap 19, and after a virtual safety car restart, everything's kind of very wide there for the AlphaTauri. Picks up the penalty now.
Jakeson has used quite all of his ERS. Will he be able to get out of that 1 second zone? Ooh,
Very odd.
big snap of oversteer for Kierbo. That might be wing damage there. I think it is wing damage.
Possibly.
Yeah, he has his, if you look at his telemetry, right from where the gears are, there's the whatever it's called.
Yeah, the hit icon,
yeah.
damage icon.
I think it means that he has damage.
Illuminated, so quite possibly could have a bit of front wing damage. That could, yeah, he lost quite a bit of time through that right hander there, and that could give Miffs an opportunity to get, as an opportunity for Ferrell to get past the Ferrari of Georgia up into P6. I thought it was going to go deep there. Nope, does it perfectly. Gets the car stopped in time for turn 7. Up as we got another yellow flag. Who was
G
that?
Parmigiano.
Oh yeah, off the AlphaTauri medium marbles. all over the medium tyres.
Yeah, he's had a good start of the race. I wanted to congratulate him on having a good start, and then he's just been falling down the field since then.
Yep. Much a bite on the back of the Mercedes, as I think the more I look at that gap at the front, the more I think, yeah, that will be wing damage for Kierbo.
Definitely.
I think everyone's got that pit icon illuminated.
Oh.
So unless everyone's got wing damage, which I highly doubt it. But either way, that Red Bull is now starting to struggle a bit. All that Aston Martin is doing exactly what it did earlier on in the race. Keep look after the tyres the best, and has the fastest pace on track. Set yellow flag. Sector 3, virtual safety car once again. Who was that? Mini having a spin with some front wing laid down on the exit of turn 21.
Ooh,
Oof,
ooh, that's not very legal.
Not the safest pit entry there.
This
Maybe got
these,
away with it in the game.
virtual safety cars are really starting to become annoying.
Yeah, just nullifies the racing.
Yeah.
Good for those who want to keep their tyre temperatures under control, though, I would say.
By the way, I think I know what the icon that's flashing means. It is basically a pit icon, and I think it means that you are supposed to have another stop. On your strategy. Yeah.
I thought so. That would indicate that the game would think that everyone had had to stop again. I didn't question whether everyone had to stop again, but only 10 laps from the end. So maybe they could make it to the end. It's going to be very tight. I think Nitro Bike could, if everyone did go to the end, Nitro Bike on those pretty much same aged hard tyres could have a field day. As we're racing once again, DRS enabled.
You know what though? They might actually be okay now, considering there was it 2 safety cars, 2 virtual safety cars after the safety car?
3 virtual safety cars.
Was it
now,
3? Yeah, I thought so. So they literally saved up 3 laps of wear on their tires.
Yeah. So that they could just, I think it'd still be quite marginal, but just make it to the end on the medium tyres. As everyone's kind of opened the gap up, unfortunately, after that most recent say, oh, a miss after having such a good race. Loses the rear, lets Hako DK back on through. Thought that was going to be a lovely podium for the AlphaTauri. We'll now have to work for it. We'll not have the DRS as Hako DK does. But we'll have to stick to the rear of that Red Bull if we want to take the position back. But going to be difficult. We saw that off the restart, Kierbo had very good pace of that Red Bull, although it has fallen off a little bit. Maybe Hako DK could have a little bit of pace after the stops, but
there is no grip on this track.
Yeah, common thing with street circuits on this game. No grip anywhere. Myths still within the DRS though. So if he's able to just stick there, I've got a lot of wheel spin at the exit there. And I do get the feeling that Hako DK just does have the car a bit more under him compared to the AlphaTauri, and that is justifying the comments I just made.
I mean, if he's struggling this much with these tires, and I don't think he's going to be really happy when he realizes that he still has 9 laps to go to do on them. Look at this. He can't, like, bring his tires to normal temperatures.
Yeah, I think those rear tyres are very much fried.
Yeah.
On the back of that AlphaTauri. We'll be having to look behind him at Ghost now, who's well within the DRS of the AlphaTauri. We're going to get a second Aston Martin into the top 4. Does look to have a much nicer rear end than the AlphaTauri. Will be a little bit far back this time to go for a move here.
Not going to be enough. Harold is closing in behind.
That was very true.
Not much going on at the back.
No, gap's all quite wide. Oh, that's the Williams.
Yeah.
It's AI fitting. As moving on to the soft tyre. Not a tyre I would choose personally, but so be it. As only close fight on track is the fight for P4. Maybe follow this for a little bit.
Yeah, 6 seconds for me. Everyone else has 3 in top 10 at least. Ooh, he's wide again!
Oh, again, and that's going to give an opportunity to Ghost to go round the outside. Oh, bit of argy-bargy there, not quite able to do it. I think it's just a matter of time, not if, but when, for the Aston Martin to get past that AlphaTauri miss on the medium tyre. Just not looked as good as he did on the hards. So it's going to be close. This is Ghost be able to get. It's going to be quite close out of this corner. Dearest open. I think he's just going to bring himself into play for the second DRS. So there's a yellow flag. That's for the Ferraris. Yeah. Once again, Kinobino.
Again,
that rear goes. Hacker also want to. Notice that Hako DK has closed a lot up to his teammate, but I think we're going to get a move done as the two Red Bulls again swap position, as then we look further back to the Aston Martin and the AlphaTauri. No, not quite close enough to make the move this time, but Hako DK getting back up into P2.
yeah, Hako not had the greatest race so far, but he's still like limiting the damage. P2 is really, really good for him with the pace he has shown today.
Yeah, unlike his teammate in the first half of the race, he seems to have the advantage in this part of the race.
Yeah.
On those medium tyres. Again, I think we are thinking that maybe Kierbo has some front wing damage.
Could be.
Again, very wide on the exit there, almost into the barrier.
Will Mitz oversteer here again? Actually,
No, surprisingly, he manages to keep it in one piece. Ghost, though, is still very much in behind the AlphaTauri. Has he got?
and Mighty Mac is out. It's a safety car.
Where is Jakeson on track? Has he gone past the pit entry? No. Is it going to be a pit stop for the top once again? Yes, it will be. I think you'll be foolish not to pit from here if you want to guarantee getting to the end. Kierbo dropping back to try and build a gap so the two Red Bulls don't double stack. That's all. Close the grid right up once again. What will the tyre choice be though? Softs for Hako.
Ooh, what was that entry?
Oh, dude. Not the safest entry. I'm surprised to see the amount of softs going on. Surely that's not going to be a great race tyre. Ghost staying out on used mediums.
I mean, everyone is going on softs.
Yeah, I'm very surprised. Is that Feral dude on 3-lap-old mediums still?
To be fair,
I'll be honest.
I would put on softs as well. Why not?
But I think from those who have put on the softs, it's not really that great of a tyre. I think it's going to overheat quite quickly. So I think what tyres is going to be for Mako softs as well. I think maybe the first lap or two softs will be good, but I think after that maybe not so much. I think maybe even 11 lap old mediums could be quite good. Feraldred I think could be in a good position towards the end of this race as well. I'm not trusting in those soft tyres being good all the way to the end.
I mean, essentially, what Aston Martins have done here is, well, basically make Ghost a wingman for Jakeson, of sorts. Pretty sure Jakeson will not have a big issue getting past him, but Ghost will probably give his everything to defend behind.
Yeah. It's really, once again, even the playing field, giving us some split strategies towards the end of the race. And I think again, well, actually, it's going to be a long safety car again, isn't it? So
Yeah.
the softs might just have the opportunity to go to the end. Going to be close, but maybe who's the furthest behind? It's gonna Bruno, isn't it?
You know what's funny? Piano might actually score his first point, probably ever, considering the two in front of him will get disqualified. And if he gets another DNF, he will score points.
After being a lap down, he pretty much meant the entire race. Could have the opportunity to score points. Not a bad deal that. He had to be in it to win it, so he's still in the race.
Makalako not rushing.
No, doesn't want to put any energy through those tyres at all. Safety car Q though heads down to past turn 5. Ghost leads the race, while Aston Martin, well, it's an Aston Martin 1-2-3 at the moment with the advantage safety car out front. 2 Red Bulls in behind them, so it's kind of 2 by 2 for the top 4. But Makalaka only 20 seconds behind, could he possibly be going at the end of this race, I wonder. Have a look at the penalties.
Yeah, G Parmigiano might have a chance of a solid finish here, considering he has no penalty.
Yep, exactly. Taking a look at the warnings, I think it's been fairly clean from those out front. Maybe on edge for Jake Sin.
2 for him. Hakudike still on 2 as well. Maybe 3, maybe 1, I don't know. Only 1 for Kerbo. And G Parmigiano has 2. And Makolako, who's not really had to push this race, and obviously hasn't got any.
Only 1, yep. Maybe we could be going green if Makalaka catches up. I don't know if the safety car will wait for the lapped car.
Probably, yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Much as I would like it to go green in this lap.
Yeah, we will be having 1 more lap behind the safety car. And yeah, so far been a faultless race from Jake Sin. He's been under pressure at the start of each restart and the start of the race, but does seem to have superior tyre management, and the Red Bulls just fall off. There's spin behind the safety car, miss. There he goes from bad to worse. Now down to P10. Was able to re-overtake Makalaka there. Whether Makalaka got a legal overtake.
So this is obviously not gonna be good for him, as he's probably cooked up his tires now with that spin. Like he wasn't already struggling a lot on his medium stint.
Yeah, we'll be wanting to try and work the tyres a little bit less, I think.
And that is not how you warm them up.
No, you do not want to be weaving that. Uses your tyre a lot. You want to be doing what it's doing right now, using the brake to get some temperature into the brakes and therefore into the carcass of the tyre. Everyone is now behind the safety car, so I think we will be going at the end of this lap.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see what everyone around the field is doing. Do you know what the thing about the battery means on the telemetry? Medium.
Battery. That's the DRS mode. Because normally qualifying you have none and hot lap. Here you've got medium and overtake. So still
didn't realize it was called medium.
Oh, Myths again having a spin. Down to P12 now. Crikey, not having a good time for the AlphaTauri.
Piano point.
Quite possibly. I mean, as the safety car comes in at the end of this lap, every step softer on the tyre, Myths just seems to be struggling even more and more. but Jakeson was de facto safety car last time. Ghost is the de facto safety car this time, so it's an Aston Martin who leads an Aston Martin, who leads a Red Bull, who leads a Red Bull, and it will be Ghost's choice of when to go. Taking very slow off this restart on his quite old now medium tyres. Will they be able to survive though and fight with the softs? Initially, I don't think so, but maybe 2 or 3 laps in, Myths gets another penalty. When will Ghost choose to go? Not quite yet. Going to be quite a late call, possibly round the final corner. So that's an AlphaTauri diving into the pits. As we go green once again, Ghost leads them away as Myths goes into the pits, and it's been a pretty good restart. Under pressure is Jakeson from Hacker DK. We've seen the Red Bulls be very strong in the safety car restart right round the outside. Contact there between the two, and that's going to be Kierbo trying to look at Hacker DK once again. Not quite. Jakeson will be very close to his teammate as we head through turn 5, and on the run down towards turn 7, I think Ghost is going to be looking in his mirrors. Surely he's going to let him go. He's on older tyres. Jakeson has been very good at tyre management as they go side by side. And in towards turn 1, Jakeson up into P1. Now as Myths retires, so Genabino down the inside, and there's contact between the two Aston Martins. Jakeson's been spun round, and this has been a gift for the Red Bulls as again contact between Kierbo and Ghost. And it's gone from an Aston Martin 1-2 on the restart down to a Red Bull 1-2.
How have they managed to bottle this? This is extraordinary. I have no clue what happened there. Wow,
It was looking so good for Jakeson, who's been in control of this race from lap 1. Will he be able to use his superior tyre management once again to get his way through the field? I think it's going to be a lot more difficult, especially when Feral Dude's on medium tyres, who won't have to be worrying about wear as much. Ghost will be under pressure from Feral Dude, so could we see Feral Dude on the podium as well? Look how much slower Ghost is compared to the Aston Martin, or compared to the AlphaTauri. Alfa Romeo got there in the end, as we've had 2 more DNFs on that safety car restart. I think Feral Dude might have got a little bit of a touch there from Jakeson. Rear looked a little bit loose as we head round the final corner. 2 Red Bulls lead by 2 seconds over this lot. Ghost trying to go defensive is going to be round the outside, down the inside for Feral Dude, or force the Ghost off the track. That gives Jakeson the position as well, and now Jakeson will be trying to get past Feral Dude as quickly as he can. Nitrobite fighting for the P5 as well. Into the slipstream goes Jakeson on Feral Dude as the Aston Martin. Oh, it's going to almost be 3 wide here as we're going to go down. There's battles everywhere. We've had to wait for it. There's going to be damage from Magano getting both of them. Jakeson wasn't able to get past Feral Dude on the DRS straight. Ghost losing lots of positions down 1 there. GP Magano,
double
massive
overtake.
gainer.
Double overtake. Incredible stuff by GP Parmigiana.
Been the dream restart for the Red Bulls. Keanu Buno will be getting points at the end of this race somehow, as is Jakeson wanting to salvage something from this race, trying to get a podium. Feral Dude not looking the most comfortable. It's going to be a dip into the slipstream for the Aston Martin. Will it be a dive down the inside? No, not quite. Will these soft tyres be starting to go off soon? Quite possibly.
The Alpha, my bad. The Aston Martins have played it very, very badly. That's not what they wanted. Ooh, nearly a hit into the wall there.
Jakeson not very happy in the cockpit, I don't think. We'll be trying to just get something from the race. I think it's possibly looking like he's cooked the medium tyre or the soft tyres. He lost quite a bit of time to Feral Dude there. Feral Dude does have a 3-second time penalty, so as long as Jakeson can keep within 3 seconds, he will get that final podium place. But it's so tight and close behind all of these guys as Nitrobite's only 2/10 back from Ghost, and I think we'll be going for the move in towards turn 7. Will Jakeson be trying to have another go? He's used up a lot of his battery DRS. Feral Dude will defend hard. The boat goes side by side. no way through. As we look a bit further back, Nitrobite's gotten past Ghost, again trying to find a way down the inside. He's almost spun again. That's Alpha Martin almost got through, is going to get through, run down the inside. No, not quite, they're going to be side by side. Both of them very low on battery. You can see the flashing light on the back of the Alfa Romeo. Manages to stay in front though. Jakeson has so much more confidence in that Aston Martin. He's been the dominator of this race, trying to find his way back through, but just not finding a way through, losing the rear once again, not quite able to get back. Is it going to be another move? Maybe DRS open down the inside, big send, and that's going to be forcing it into the wall, and that's almost certain wing damage for the Alfa Romeo. He's now going to circle from for the AlphaTauri behind. I think that could possibly be a penalty for Jakeson, and this could possibly be a podium for GP Morgado.
Obviously a lot of frustration in Jakeson head in this moment. Probably got fueled up to make a dive bomb there.
This is a lot of understeer from the Alfa Romeo here. Definitely wing damage. GP Morgado is going to have to get through quickly as he head on the final lap of the Grand Prix. Nitrobite still not managing to get past Ghost. Just trying to find any way through. GP Morgado 3.5 tenths on the back from the back of Feral Dude. Needs to get a good exit here. Has a lot of battery, which Feral Dude does not. DRS open. See the back of that Alfa Romeo flashing. Oh, it's bumped him. Why has he done that?
Yeah, weird. But he will have a go on the second DRS zone, I'm sure. Yeah, Feral Dude is just all over the place. He's on those old medium tires still. I mean, there is absolutely no surprise that he's so much slower than everyone else.
Well, he does have that wing damage. He was doing a very good job at defending from Jakeson. Something tells me that Jakeson will be getting a penalty for that shove into the wall for the Alfa Romeo. And trying to find a way through. Nothing quite doing. Just open once again for the AlphaTauri. But it's the last lap of the race. Will this be a move from Nitrobite round the outside of Ghost on much older tyres? All this again pushing and barging between the two, as I think Nitrobite has managed to get that position. Oh no, not quite, again bumping and barging. Now Nitrobite manages to get that P6 as he head to the leader, Hako DK. I don't think he expected it halfway through the race, but wins
Jakeson
Singapore Grand Prix. As Jakeson has spun. Oh, it's awful.
Keep on the podium. This is unbelievable.
Gets a podium. And what was looking so good for the Aston Martin.
He's immediately left the session. He's fucking raging. Oh, my bad language.
What a shame. But what a delight for Red Bull, who looked to be out of it. Only a handful of laps to go, but managed to come out of it with a 1-2. What a brilliant result as Kinobino in the end getting the final points.
Yeah, well, this is definitely not what I expected. A cheap Parmigiano podium. I don't even remember him like ever scoring points, maybe like once or twice, and him to like just score a random podium here is a bit unexpected, but congratulations to him, definitely.
Here's how the results look. There's Hako DK, who took the win from his teammate Kierbo. Good day at the office for Red Bull. GP Morgado getting the final podium place from, where did he start? From P8, so pretty good game for old dude. From up places from P4. Jakeson, for absolutely horrid safety car restart, finishes P5. Makalako has a really good recovery, getting back up into P6, just jumping his teammate Nitrobite on penalties in P7. Ghost lost out on the end, staying out was not the thing to do, finishes P8. Skittles and T will be disqualified, and Kinobino will pick up the final point.
So,
and all of his DNFs.
We're basically half of the field didn't finish the race, and Aston Martin went from being 1-2 on the safety car restart to being 5th and 8th. That is really, really tragic for them. I'm
It
sure they
was,
will be absolutely gutted.
from what looked like such a dominant performance from Jackson, it just wasn't to be.
Well,
Well,
yeah.
that was brilliant race. And towards the end, we had to wait for it a little bit. But yeah, that was the Singapore Grand Prix. We'll be back on your screens on next Monday for the Tier 1 race, but for Tier 2, you will have to wait a week, 23rd of August, for the British Grand Prix.
Yeah, that will be it for this stream, and see you guys next week.